Hello everyone. I am so excited to be bringing you another episode of The Black Knitter. I am Liz, otherwise known as The Black Knitter, and thank you so much for those of you who are returning, who have subscribed, have been here for a long time with me on this journey. But I also want to welcome those of you who are new, because we've got a lot of new folks who have subscribed in the last couple of months. So thank you for doing that. If you haven't subscribed, please do all the YouTube-y stuff. Subscribe, like, comment below, because that helps us grow this space of beloved community. This is a space where I do a couple of things. One is I like to make my subscribers aware of all of the fantastic black and brown makers out there, designers, yarn dyers, shop owners, but also to make people aware of those wonderful allies that we have that are in the work with us. But it's also a space of beloved community. And, Dr. King was the person I think who made us all more aware of what beloved community is. But it's really a space where all people can fully participate in the life of the community, where love for humanity is at the center, and we all feel like we belong. So this is that space. I spend some time in most of my episodes doing a little bit of education, and I'll do that today. I've gotten away from it the last couple of episodes, but I do want to get back to that because this is the season of Lent, a season where we refocus our attention on being more like Jesus. That's what it's like. That's what it is for me. So we'll talk about that. I've got a lot of stuff to cover in this episode, so buckle up. I also have a new phone, and I think the quality of the video will be better with this new phone. I only got it because I had to. My other one stopped working right. I hate updating my phone. Let me know if you hate updating your phone too. Even when you stick with the same type of phone, it's still a pain. So for education, I thought I would focus on, so let me back up. Everything that I try to do education on in this podcast is related to beloved community. Those things that I think will help you grow beloved community where you are. I am a follower of the way. That's how I describe myself, as someone who believes that Jesus is who he said he was, the Messiah. I am a liberal Christian, but I don't like to describe myself as a Christian because that term has been co-opted by certain groups who don't practice beloved community. So I describe myself as a follower of the way. I am a certified lay minister in the United Methodist Church. My home church is Family of Faith in Akron, Ohio. Feel free to join us. Check us out on the web. Again, my education, or elimu is what I call it, that's the Swahili word for education, is all focused on beloved community. And I wanted to share with you a little bit of what I shared with my church this past week, I got asked to fill in for our pastor who was on vacation for a couple of weeks. So I got the opportunity to do the sermon. I don't like to say I preached because I see myself as more of a Bible teacher, not a preacher. But what I taught on was in the 23rd chapter of Acts. Acts is part of the New Testament. It's the story of the early church. And in the 23rd chapter, this guy Paul, who has been preaching and teaching about the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, is arrested by the Jewish high court called the Sanhedrin. And he is brought before that court. The high priest of that court is a man by the name of Ananias. And what's interesting about Ananias is that he was very corrupt. He's actually written into history as one of the most corrupt high priests to ever serve as high priest. So he was not a great guy. But I want to read you this text and then just talk a little bit about it. I'm going to read again in Acts chapter 23, verses 1 through 11. And it says, Paul looked straight at the council members and said, "My friends, to this day I have served God with a clear conscience." Then Ananias the high priest ordered the men standing beside Paul to hit him on the mouth. Paul turned to the high priest and said, "You whitewashed wall, God will hit you. You sit there to judge me by the law of Moses, but at the same time you order men to break the law by hitting me." The men standing beside Paul asked, "Don't you know you are insulting God's high priest?" Paul replied, "Oh, I didn't know he was the high priest. The scriptures do tell us not to speak evil about a leader of our people." When Paul saw that some of the council members were Sadducees and others were Pharisees, he shouted, "My friends, I'm a Pharisee and the son of a Pharisee. I'm on trial simply because I believe that the dead will be raised to life." As soon as Paul said this, the Pharisees and the Sadducees got into a big argument, and the council members started taking sides. The Sadducees do not believe in angels or spirits or that the dead will rise to life, but the Pharisees believe in all of these. And so there was a lot of shouting. Some of the teachers of the law of Moses were Pharisees. Finally, they became angry and said, "We don't find anything wrong with this man. Maybe a spirit or an angel really did speak to him." The argument became fierce, and the commander was afraid that Paul would be pulled apart, so he ordered the soldiers to go in and rescue Paul. Then they took him back into the fortress. That night the Lord stood beside Paul and said, "Don't worry. Just as you have told others about me in Jerusalem, you must also tell about me in Rome." The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. So this is basically a story of Paul being brought before the high court, the Jewish high court, to defend himself for preaching about Jesus. And he calls out the high priest for breaking the law by having him struck, because that was illegal in a court situation. Paul hadn't been convicted of anything, so he should not have been punished. So that was a sign that Ananias was not a good person. And Paul calls him out on that. He calls him a whitewashed wall. And at that time, that would have been understood as Paul saying, "I know who you really are." In those times, they would whitewash walls to hide how bad they were as far as their condition. So it paint them over with this white wash, so people didn't know how bad the walls were. So Paul is saying to him, "You look good on the outside, Mr. High Priest, but I can see that there's something not good about you underneath that." So Paul could tell by his behavior that he was not the man of God that he proclaimed to be. If we are going to live in beloved community, our behavior has to be consistent with our beliefs. Our behavior should speak to who we are, who we profess to be, the values that we claim to hold. And if those things are not consistent, then we need to do some internal work. Amen? So my message to my church family last weekend was, don't be Ananias. Sometimes you are the only Bible that people will see, because most people don't go to church. So your behavior has to be consistent with the man who you profess to follow. So if you are a follower of the way, if you use this book as a guide for your life, your behavior should be consistent with what Jesus said and what he did. And Jesus preached love. Love, love, love. Love first and foremost. He said love was the most important thing. Love of God, and then love of your neighbor. And he said those things were equal in importance. He didn't say love of God was more important. He said love your neighbor was equal to love of God. So if you are putting love at the center, you are living into beloved community. And that really should be your litmus test for whenever you encounter someone who says that they love the Lord. If love is not at the center, then maybe you should find another church or find another, Christian community. So love should be at the center. And just in case some of you are interested, this is a Poverty and Justice Bible. It's one of my favorites. It's in contemporary English. And it's got a lot in here about how to practice beloved community. I hope that you will think about that as you work your way to Easter this year, which is in just a couple more weeks. All right. Habari Gani, what is the news? What have I been up to the last couple of weeks? I've been up to a lot. I am still very busy at work. So we are implementing a new university-wide requirement. It is a very heavy lift. It's taking a lot of my time. So I have been working a lot. I come home exhausted. But it'll be good once it's all done. Because it's the season of Lent, I have been participating in a Lenten Bible study. As I mentioned, I preached a couple of times in the absence of our pastor. So just getting prepared for those things has taken some time. What else has been up? I'm getting ready to go to California, which is pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to that. My birthday is next week. So I'm going to California, gonna meet up with a cousin, a good friend, and my sister. We're all gonna meet up at her house and have a really awesome extended grown-up girls weekend that includes running a half marathon that I'm not ready for because I just have not had time to train. It is so hard to train for a half when you have a very busy work schedule and you know you're just tired all the time because of work. So I have not trained as I should have, so I'll finish it. I'll just be walking most of it. It's just the way it's gonna go, and it's fine. It'll be fun. My sister has planned like a whole itinerary that's gonna be awesome, so I'm really looking forward to that. I have been doing lots of knitting, but I don't have many finished objects. I'll talk about that in a little bit. We wrapped up the Black History Month make-along. Lots of participation, lots of folks sharing that they have been introduced to lots of new to them makers, so that is awesome. I'm really happy with that. That is the whole point of me doing the Black History Make-Along, is to elevate the profiles of those Black makers that are out there doing fantastic work. So I pulled all of the winners for that, and I have notified them all, and they have all gotten back to me, so that is great. And I think that's all I want to tell you as far as what I've been doing. Oh, I finished a couple of Learn to Knit classes, had a couple of really great groups, so that was fun. And I think that's it. Not a whole lot. I mean, a lot, but you know, not a lot of different things, just things that required a lot of preparation and things like that. So that is it for Habari Gani. Kumba, creativity. I have a lot of whips. You guys, it's getting out of control. It's starting to give me a little bit of anxiety. But what I've decided is that some things just are gonna be on the back burner until I finish some more pressing things. There's so much that I want to do. Man, there's just not enough time for knitting. I actually just ordered this morning a knitting backpack to take on the plane when I go to California, so that I can fit some of my whips in there and work on them on the plane. And while I have downtime in California, one of my cousins is just learning to knit, so she's gonna bring her knitting with her. My sister and my friend that are gonna be on the trip are crocheters, so I'm hoping that they'll have some stuff and we can do some sip and stitch time while I'm there. That'll be fun. So let's get into these whips. I will tell you, I do have one finished object. My project for the Black History make-along was a free pattern called the Unicorn Shawl. That's available, I think it's only on Ravelry. Honestly, it's not a great pattern. The instructions are not great. I will insert a picture of it here. I actually gifted it to a friend of mine at work who is just a fantastic student-focused person. I love working with her. And, you know, the Lord just told me it needed to go to her. And that happens. You know, I'm a process knitter. And so oftentimes I'll start things without a particular person in mind for who it's going to belong to. And this was that kind of project. The picture is here. The yarn was from the Chicken Coop Dye Works Kwanzaa box. She has a great base called Comb Feathers that has silk in it. Ooh, it is so good. So good. It feels delicious. I love that yarn. Her dye skills are amazing. She has these really nice saturated colors. And I used 3 different skeins of this yarn in like I put them together in a fade. Really nice. So you definitely have to check out Chicken Coop Dye Works if you haven't. I have talked about them before. And if you're in Northeast Ohio, Harps and Thistles is going to be carrying some of her yarn on a more regular basis now. So you can get it there, or you can get it on her website. So definitely check her out. So that's my only finished object. But it's only been a couple of weeks since the last time I did an episode. So let's get into these whips. Some are things you've seen before, but I think all of these are new. I have lots of things on the needles. You can see my cart back here, and all that stuff back there is stuff that I have not been working on. So, there's all that. But I've got some more things going that need attention right now. So I'm going to focus on those. And then I'll get back to that. Okay, so first thing I want to show you is that I have started the back of my son's sweater. So this is the last piece. So I've got it started here. This is on here because I did a tubular cast on. I'll take that out. But excited to finish this back panel. And you guys have heard me say before, this pattern, it's the Saven Sweater. I'll link it below. It's got a lot of cabling. It takes a lot of concentration, so I can't when I sit down to work on it, I have to focus. So it takes time, and I have to have a good chunk of time to really focus on it. And I like to at least get through a whole row, because if I stop in the middle of a row, I gotta really think about, okay, where am I? That kind of thing. So that is progressing. This yarn is, I'll pull out a skein of it here, is Wool of the Andes. It's a Knit Picks yarn. It's 100% merino. Oh, Peruvian Highland wool, 100% Peruvian Highland wool. This color is Amethyst Heather. It's definitely purple. I don't know this kind of looks more burgundy to me right now, but it's definitely purple, which is my son's favorite color. He actually picked this yarn out. But I love the way it's knitting up, and it's a great affordable option for 100% non-superwash wool if that's what you want. I'll show you this one next. This is a project bag that came in my Chicken Coop Dye Works Kwanzaa box. So this is a hat that I started. I've got a progress keeper on there. I'll put it up there. Progress Keeper is by Whitney Marie Anderson. It was in the Passion Knits Yarn Kwanzaa box. That's one of the things that came with that Kwanzaa box. So check Passion Knits Yarn out as well. This yarn is Berroco Vintage. It's worsted weight. The colorway is called Snow Day, which is kind of cool. And this pattern is really nice and squishy. It's got a cool little cable in it. Really good TV knitting for me. This is actually a pattern by Fatimah Hinds, Disturbing the Fleece. It's only available to her Instagram subscribers. So if you want access to it, you have to be one of her subscribers on Instagram. But I love this hat. I ended up doing a tubular cast on for this, so I have a nice edge there, which is great. And I'm gonna give this to one of my sorority sisters. The colors of our sorority are royal blue and white. I'm gonna put on a blue pom-pom. Isn't that cute? It's got a snap on it, so you can take it off when you wash the hat. Love this. Harps and Thistles has a really great pom-pom maker. Her name is Jennifer. So you can find different sizes of pom-poms and a huge variety of colors, and they all have the snap bottom, which is fantastic if you've never had those, because it just makes it so easy to take the pom-pom off so you don't have to worry about ruining it when you wash it. This vintage yarn is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. So you can machine wash it and lay it flat to dry. So it's great for a hat. And another very affordable option for yarn. And I got that at Harps and Thistles. They carry lots of Berroco and Malabrigo yarns if you like Malabrigo. The next thing I want to share losing yarn here. So this is actually in a bag that my supervisor's mother made, and she gave it to me. I was admiring it one day and she said, oh, here, because she had 2 of them. So she gave it to me. And this is a Dinkra symbol here that actually means except for God, meaning only by the grace of God. Amen. I love that. Because only by the grace of God. Only by the grace of God, y'all. Whew. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway. So at Thanksgiving, my brother and sister-in-law announced that they are expecting their first baby. And this is my youngest brother. I was 21 when he was born. And so I kind of feel like this is like a grandchild for me. That's the way I'm acting. Like this is my first grandbaby, even though it's going to be my niece. They found out recently that they're having a girl. And my sister-in-law is like all into the girly stuff. So I decided to make a traditional baby cardigan and blanket with traditional girl colors. So it's gonna be pink, y'all. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though I'm a firm believer that boys can wear pink, it's not that. But you know, my sister-in-law has some really traditional views about gender and color, so it's fine. So I'm making a little cardigan, So this is where I'm at so far. I've split for the sleeves. It's going to end up being a larger size, which is fine with me because that means they can wear it longer. This pattern, it doesn't have a name. It's just referred to as a baby cardigan and blanket, but it's by, let me look at my notes here, OGE Knitwear Designs. I'll link the pattern below, but I really like this lacy pattern here, and it just buttons up top here. So I hope to take this to California to work on. This yarn is Uptown DK. It is 100% acrylic. It's their baby yarn, and the colorway is called Baby Pink. But it's really soft. It's machine washable and dryable, which is perfect. I don't want them to have to worry about it getting messy and not being able to wash it easily. Uptown DK is a really good acrylic yarn. It's anti-pilling, which is nice. Yeah, and it's by Universal Yarn, if you can see that. And this is available at my local yarn shop, which is great. It makes it really easy to get more if I need it. So I'm gonna make the cardigan and a blanket to match that has that lace pattern. So they're not due until the end of June. So I've got some time. So I'll probably take the cardigan with me to California and try and get that done. I'll probably take the hat with me to get that done, and one other thing that I'll show you in, well, I'll show it to you now. So y'all know I really love Fatimah Hinds, who is Disturbing the Fleece on Instagram. She has a new website, disturbingthefleece.com, where you can get, she's putting her patterns on there slowly but surely. She also has a Ravelry site that you can access her patterns at. I'll link her below. But she just started today is Saturday the 18th of March. She just will be starting today. Today is the cast on. I got started a little early though, because I couldn't wait. I was too excited. She is doing an adventure Sock KAL, and it's really cool because it's all on Instagram. If you want to participate, it doesn't cost anything. And you don't have to buy the pattern because she is giving you the directions on Instagram. So you just have to follow her on Instagram. The cast on is today at 6 o'clock Eastern time. She's doing an Instagram live. But if you want to have a written pattern and participate, you can go into Ravelry and purchase the pattern. Just find her. You can look for her as Fatimah Hinds. And I'll actually link to the Ravelry page for the pattern below. But the pattern right now is $2, and she'll update it as she updates the instructions on Instagram, so you can access the written pattern that way. So I bought the pattern. It was available a couple days ago, and so I went ahead and bought it, and I couldn't wait for the cast on. I was trying so hard to wait for the cast on, but I couldn't do it, y'all. I couldn't wait. So I started it. So couple things about this sock. She did a live a few days ago and she sketched out what the sock is gonna look like. Way cool. It's gonna have ribbing that goes from the toe all the way up to the cuff. It's gonna have cabling. It's gonna have reverse stockinette. It's gonna be nice. And it's got the option of doing 3 colors. It's gonna be great. So, and it's toe up. And the design includes this really cool way of doing a toe. I prefer to do socks toe up. And the thing that kind of frustrates me about doing socks toe up is getting the toe started. Like, it's so fiddly, and I just have not found a way that is easy. But I do it that way because I like to be able to decide how long I want the sock to be as I'm knitting it. And you can do that when it's toe up. I don't have to worry about running out of yarn. This toe, I'm telling you, she has changed my life. Changed my life, y'all. So you got to participate. You got to get involved. But this toe is amazing. Like, I messaged her on Instagram after I did it. I was like, OMG, this toe is life-changing. So I love it. So I just got started. I just started my toe here. And you can see that little blip of toe. It looks kind of square. It's because of the way you do the toe. It's cool, y'all. It's so cool. So this is my color 3. This is a Madeline Tosh color. I think it's called Carolina Reaper. I just had some left over because you don't need, for colors 2 and 3, you don't need a whole lot. So I'm just using some leftover scraps. This is the main color, color 1. This is a Lolabean Yarn Co. colorway. The base is their Mung bean base, which is merino, yak, and silk. It is fantabulous, y'all. It feels really great. The silk is going to make it really strong, so it's good for socks. The colorway is called Corvidae, I think. Let me see, I wrote it down. Corvidae, C-O-R-V-I-D-A-E. Yes, Corvidae. And I believe I got this at I got this in Maryland. Magpie Fibers. I got it at Magpie Fibers when I was there last year at their new store in Frederick. So it is really, really nice yarn. My color 3 is some more scrappy yarn that I have. It's this color, and I don't remember what this is or where I got it. But this is a DK weight sock. So for this blue and for the Carolina Reaper, I'm just holding it double because these are fingering weight. And then this Mung bean base is a DK weight yarn. So I'm so excited. I made myself put this down last night because I want to have some to work on during the cast on later today. But definitely check it out if you're on Instagram, or go over to Ravelry and get the pattern and just knit with us. I think it's gonna go for like 6 weeks. And if you're wondering about my bag with beautiful hands on it, it's a Quirky Monday bag. It's by Kalisha, who does the Quirky Monday podcast. She has a Etsy shop with some patterns on it. So I don't know if you can still get these from her, but I will link her Etsy shop below. So the last whip I have to tell you about is not really a whip because I haven't quite started. All I've done so far is swatch, but I'm gonna start this afternoon because I'm taking a class with my friend Judy. Hey Judy! She's doing a class on the Anchor sweater, which is a petite knits pattern. I will link it below. So I've got all my yarn ready for that, and I will show you. I'm using 2 different yarns. So this sweater is one where you hold fingering weight double throughout the pattern, and one of my yarns is this beautiful color. I hope you can see that well. It's like a gray with little flecks of color in it. There's some blue, some gold, greeny, even some reddy kind of burgundy bits in there. And it is, the base is called Baldwin. This is a Jimmy the Model colorway from Lolabean Yarn Co. And this was dyed for You, the yarn shop in Oberlin that's owned by Lisa. So it's a Black-owned yarn shop there. And this is merino and nylon. The color is called Just For You, and you can see the base there is called Baldwin. So yeah, that is one color. So I have 2 skeins of that, so I'm going to start the sweater with that. And then I've got some Berroco vintage sock, which is acrylic wool and nylon blend. It's very affordable. I just love this color, which is, what's the name of it? Tide Pool. So it's kind of a blue-green color, but I think these go very nicely together. Like the blue in the Jimmy the Model yarn matches the blue in the Tide Pool, I think. So I think this is going to be really nice. I will show you my swatch of the Jimmy the Model yarn. I really love the feel of the fabric. Look at that. Those little blips of color are really cool. And it just feels really nice for a, I mean, it's basically a sock yarn, but I love it. So that's all I got so far. So I'm ready for class. Got it all set up. So those are the whips that I'm going to focus on over the next few weeks. Okay, I want to show you some stuff that I purchased or received. I want to show all of you the Black History Month prizes that I have. Excuse me. And just a couple of things that I purchased. So I purchased the vintage sock for my sweater. Well, let me show you this because it's sitting right here. I purchased this just because I was at Harps and Thistles the other day, finishing up my Learn to Knit class, and I have been looking at this yarn for a couple of weeks, and I just love the color. So I bought 3 balls of it, thinking I'm gonna make a sweater out of this. I don't know what sweater, but I'm gonna make a sweater. So look at that yarny goodness there. This is Fibra Natura by Cobblestone. It's 100% superwash merino wool. One ball is actually 200 grams, so you get quite a bit of yarn there. It's kind of a sport weight. 200 grams has 612 yards. It's rated fine, or number 2. So that's in the sport weight range, I think. And this color is called Mardi Gras. I love it. So it's kind of got that spin cycle vibe without the spin cycle price. But I just really love the color. So please drop your suggestions for what you think I might be able to use this for as far as a sweater pattern, because I've got 600 grams of it. So that's like 1,800 yards. So I've definitely got enough to do a sweater with. Even if I held it double, I'd probably have enough for a sweater. So let me know. Give me some ideas, please. And I will definitely check them out. Maybe I can look at all the options, and then in the next episode we can vote on which one I will use for that yarn. That would be fun. So think about that. All right, let me get all of the prizes for the Black History make-along. All right, there's a lot of stuff, and some of it is kind of crinkly because I don't want to take it out of the bag. So, the first prize, and these are in like no order. I don't know who's gonna get what. Sorry. Just know that you're gonna get one of these things in your prize. So the first one is from the Passion Knits yarn Kwanzaa box. The base of this is called Spellbound and Shimmer. Some of it is Spellbound, some of it is Shimmer, I guess. So it's a little mini set. Isn't that cute? This will be great for color work or for a little fade. Aren't those nice? So there are 5 of these, so it's about 500 yards all together. And you've got 3 that are a merino nylon blend, 75-25, and then 2 that have stellina in them. So just a little bit of stellina. So a little bit of shimmer. Really, really pretty combination there. So that's a prize. Here's another one from Passion Knits yarn. This colorway is called A Trip Down Memory Lane to the Altar. It's fingering weight, 100% superwash merino, and the base is called Zealous. It's 437 yards. Really, really pretty. That'll be so nice. All right, so that's prize 2. Prize 3 is from Willy Nilly Knits. I don't think he's dying anymore, so this will be a very nice skein for someone. This colorway is called Glacier. It's 100% superwash merino, and it is worsted weight. love this colorway. Isn't that nice? Love it. All right. This next prize is also from Passion Knits Yarn, and it is another, it's two skeins that I put together because I think they go together very, very well. So one is it's a fingering and lace weight together. The colorway name is called Love Should Have Brought You Home Last Night. Love that. But it's a combination of a merino nylon blend and a mohair silk blend. So it just looks really fantastic. And I put it in with The Grinch Who Stole Hip Hop, which is a merino, yak, and silk blend. It's gonna be fantastic. It's delicious. That yak and silk together, man, can't beat it. So that's a fingering weight, but the colors go together, and hopefully you can see that. Oh, it's two. There, that's better. So this is going to be fantastic. And these are all things that I wanted to keep for myself. These are all but one of these have been things that I have purchased myself, for myself, and decided to pass them on to you because I want to spread the love. All right. This is a kit, not really a kit, it's a set from Lady Dye Yarns, Diane at Lady Dye Yarns, and it is the Black Panther box set. So not only is it, you know, like Passion Knits Yarns, a lot of her colorways are, that I'm showing or sharing with you are based on songs. This colorway is based on the Black Panther. So really cool. Very nice. And it's actually got some stickers and a tape measure and some stitch markers. There's some candy in it too. Look at that. That's really pretty. So this will be great too. I hope I just didn't blow out people's ears with the crinkling. This is a pattern and two skeins of yarn from Hinds House Yarns. Terry and Brian at Hinds House sent this to me to give away. So you can see it's the Opposites Do Attract KAL. It's a knitting pattern that comes with yarn. Isn't that nice? One is called Silver Bullets. I can't see the colorway name for them. I don't want to open this because I want to keep it all nice for the person that's going to get it. So this is another awesome prize. And then Brian at Hinds House makes bags, Uncle Brian's bags. I actually have one sitting right there. That's the Uncle Brian bag. It's got a bunch of yarn in it and a pattern because I'm already set to make something with that, and I wanted it to all be ready. But I got a couple of Uncle Brian's bags. These are really nice, y'all. Look at the inside. There's the tag for Uncle Brian's bags. It's got really nice drawstring pulls. It's got a little clippy here, so if you want to add a handle, you can do that, or clip it to another bag. Really nicely constructed. So a couple of you will get a bag. So those are the prizes. So I hope you are excited to get those. I had a lot of fun just gathering those for folks and you know, receiving packages. So thanks to Terry and Brian for their generosity. I really appreciate it. Thanks to Carol for donating the fade kit. Carol and Cindy at Harps and Thistles donated the fade kit that we gave away at the beginning of the Black History Make-Along. And so I'm looking forward to continued partnership with Cindy to make Black makers more visible in Northeast Ohio. So I think that is it, I think. Let me see if I can tell you what's coming up. Oh, the next yarn social with me at Harps and Thistles will be April 16th, I believe. Yes, April 16th. It's usually the second Sunday of the month, but the second Sunday in April is Easter. So the shop will be closed. I'll be at church and spending time with family. So we won't have it then. We're going to do it on the 16th. And then in May, we'll be back to the second Sunday of the month. It'll be at 1 o'clock, 1 to 3. Please come and join us at the shop. It is a lot of fun sitting around the circle, hanging out, and just having a space of beloved community. So feel free to join us on the 16th at 1 o'clock at Harps and Thistles. I also have a beginning hat class coming up it starts April 6th. That's a Thursday. So Thursdays, 3 Thursdays from 6 to 8 starting on April 6th. Cindy just put that up on the website and it's already half full. So if you want to get a spot in that, you live in Northeast Ohio, hop on it quick before the spots are gone. And let me know in the comments what class you might want to see next. And I'll just say, last time I said I was going to do a live. I just haven't had time to get organized enough to do a live. When I'm recording, I can at least start and stop and edit things out. So I think that is it. We will wrap things up, and I will see you in these internet streets. Or maybe I'll see you at Harps and Thistles on the 16th. I hope to see you again here on the YouTubes in a couple of weeks. I'm going to try and be more regular. Yeah, have a good couple of weeks. Make beloved community wherever you are. All right? God bless you. Love you. See you next time.